If you told me at the start of the season that potentially by the end of it we could be in Europe, I would have laughed my absolute face off. And yet, here we are. Pontypridd in Europe. Unbelievable. Let's see if we can do it. Only Phil Neville and TNS stand in the way. Could be easier. Yes, hello everyone, and welcome to the finale of Season 4 of the TYC. And, as you can tell, we're fourth. We're fourth! Somehow, we managed to qualify in the top 6 of the league. I will go through the fixtures in a minute, but you can tell here, it's a bit unfair on Llandudno and Airbus, considering that Llandudno would be second, and Airbus would be ahead of me, so technically I'd be 6th. But, they didn't qualify for the top 6, did they? That's because we secured that 1-1 draw against Llandudno and then beat Barry 5-3 on the final day before the split. And that saw us leap into 6th on goal difference, if you can believe it. And I've got to say, actually, we didn't get off to a good start, to be fair. Lost to Connors K and TNS, both quite bad defeats as well. But we did beat Barley. We just have a sensational record over in this save as it stands. But we went out of the Welsh Cup at the quarterfinal to Airbus, but to be fair, they're a team that do belong in the top 6, really. We've just kind of snuck our way in. Bangor, Carmarthen, Bangor City again, all draws and then 3 wins on the bounce. Connors K, Bala and Carmarthen all dispatched, and the man really to thank for that, or 2 men to thank for it. Number 1 would be, where is he? Jamie Smith. Been brilliant now. I've finally found a place for him. He's suddenly hit a bit of form. He seems to be gelling with the team. He's coming very well. If I can get this guy on loan again next year, I certainly will do, because he has been a fundamental change in how we have suddenly upturned our form. He's been brilliant in the last 5 games. 7.4, 3 goals, no assists. Could probably do a bit better in that department, but as long as he keeps getting the goals and helps us win games, that's all I care about. But the real story is Ashley Idzi, who's suddenly come out of absolutely nowhere. 7 goals in his last 5 games, playing it in 8 overall. He's absolutely smashing it at the moment. He just cannot stop scoring. At 20 years old, he's definitely going to get a lot better. It's a strange one, because you can tell from the arrows apparently he's getting better, but actually his ability has gone down, but that's probably down to the lack of form, really, more than anything else. I did expect him to kind of grow a bit quicker than that, but obviously maybe our coaching is holding him back. I'm not 100% sure. But, like I said, today is not really about that. Today is about TNS, and it is the last fixture of the season. Phil Neville's team have won the league at an absolute canter. They've come from nowhere, really, to win it, and quite convincingly as well. They're 14 points ahead of Connors K. We have never beaten them. Today would be a really good day to do it. I don't really know what I have to do to achieve Euro Cup 2 football. I think it's actually to go into a Euro Cup playoff. I need to be in the top 3. Unfortunately, Connors K and Bangor, who are just ahead of us, are the 2 teams in front. So, if Connors K beat Bangor, that would be perfect, and then we would have to beat TNS, and we would overhaul Bangor, and then go 3rd, which I have to say, for our first season in the Premier Division, would be absolutely insane. I forgot, actually, one of the big, more impressive things about this, it did take us a little while to get over it, is we actually received some money for a player. Darren Rye, funnily enough, went to TNS. Phil saw him, thought, I like what I see, came in and bought him. I didn't have any choice in the matter at all. The board just did it on my behalf, which really annoyed me. But we have sold him for essentially nearly 10k. We've got 8.5 at the moment. It could rise to nearly 10k. So actually, it's not a bad deal, but at the same time, I've lost my best centre-back. And it does not put us in a good position for next year. But so far, the team that I've got here has been playing very well. Bardens in goal, McCormick, Lennon, Williams, Taylor and Reese now make up the back 4 with Lloyd. And George Hughes in the middle. Thomas Green are currently relegated to the bench. He's not been in very good form, and George Hughes has been very good when I brought him in. Colwell's out on the left-hand side. Still yet to really catch fire this year, but he's been playing slightly better. Parton's been brilliant all year round and has continued that. Jamie Smith, like I said, rejuvenated now on the right-hand side. And Ashley Idzi is just a completely different kettle of fish to what he was beforehand, and he's leading the line. Guy we need to watch out for is Carl McFarlane. He's played very well against us in previous games, as is Martel. You can tell there, a very Phil Neville formation, very defensive, and one player that will be familiar to a lot of us is Richie Smith, brought from Chenretry Town. We all remember Richie. I wanted him. They got him. There's a rivalry brewing between me and Phil Neville. I'm going to say we owe TNS after what happened, go out there and get some revenge. It'd be a really big statement. We're in very good form. 3 wins on the bounce, unbeaten in 6. And Izzy's absolutely on flames right now. So if we can beat this lot, I'll be very happy. They've got nothing to play for, don't forget, as well. Absolutely nothing to play for. So this is probably the best chance we're going to have at beating them for a while. Because part of me is thinking, as well as I'm doing with Pontypridd, if we don't get into Europe, which is fine, because we weren't expected to, if I don't, do I move? Do I move clubs? Have I achieved everything that I can with Pontypridd? Probably not, but I'm not really keen on having another summer of wheeling and dealing. I don't think I can get better players than Rye. And at the moment, I'm in a division, and I'm in a league where no matter what I do, the players that I want to keep are going to get poached by TNS, and I don't like that. I don't like the idea of me being a kind of like a conveyor belt for them. You know, I brought up Richie Smith from Chandretri. He's turned up and been really good for them. Obviously, now they've got Rye. There's other players that TNS want. There's probably going to be a few more players, my players, that they're going to buy. And do I really want to be a feeder club? Because that's what it will feel like. As long as we're in Wales and TNS are just that far ahead, and especially financially, I mean, like for a start, they can spend money. We can't spend money. Like, they have the ability to go off and spend 10k on Rye. I don't have that money, and the board, as much as I asked them, the board asked me to start with a new contract. I said I'd rather it went towards the transfer budget, or sorry, the wage budget. They said no. They think that I'm doing, that I've got enough to do it. I'd like to think, from my time at Pontypridd and what I've achieved for this team, that they'd probably give me a bit more, but they haven't, and it's a bit of a wind-up, to be honest. I'm very, very irritated at the moment because I feel like I deserve a lot more, but they're not giving it to me, and it's a bit frustrating. Highlight here just before the end of half-time, as Johnson hits it long. Good header by Partin there. He's been such a good signing. Jamie Smith is in. Jamie Smith must score. Jamie Smith gets his 4th goal. And Connors K have taken the lead against Bangor. Oh no. No way. Seriously, right at the same time. We're 1-0 up against TNS. Brilliant header there by Partin. Idzi. Partin. Wonderful ball over the top. Jamie Smith. Can he finish? Yes, he can. Great finish. We've gone third. We're going third. I don't believe it. Do not score this. Ramsey whips the ball in. They've scored, but he's offside by my eye. I knew he was offside there, even though I could tell that by the naked eye. I wouldn't be surprised if I was sought after a little bit in the summer. I'm waiting for bigger jobs to kind of come along. I'm waiting for a really big opportunity. Part of me thinks that Phil Neville is too good to be at TNS. Let's face it, as much as I banter about him, Phil Neville is probably a bit too good to be at TNS. So what I'm hoping is that he'll leave, and then they'll offer me the job, and then I could maybe go on and dominate Welsh football and get some European experience with them. That would be the ultimate aim. I mean, that's the dream, innit? That's the goal. I'm going to take Hughes off because he's not been great. Tom Screamer's going to come on, and I'm also going to take Colwell off, and I'm going to bring on Phil Jones, who's a leader. So even though what he lacks in technically, he is a leader of this team. So I'm hoping that he can kind of get me through these last 30 minutes. The more important thing is that it shows that we can beat TNS if we do win this game. I'll be very pleased because they are head and shoulders above anyone else in this division. But it shows that on our day, especially at home, we can beat them. Idzi's in, Idzi scores. You just can't stop him. It's his 20th goal of the season. It's awful goalkeeping. It's literally atrocious goalkeeping. But we are beating TNS. I get the feeling they're on the beach. He's just onside, plays it brilliantly. It's in the corridor of uncertainty. Keeper's hesitant. Idzi isn't. Bang, 2-0. It's all down to Connors K and Bangor City now. I have to say, it's been quite the rise since I arrived at Pontypridd. I didn't think we'd be anywhere near this good. But, I mean, like, it's the stuff of dreams, really. We've been so good ever since I took over, really. We've been the overachievers, and I'd like to think that's happened today, but Carl McFarlane's probably going to score here. He has, it's 2-1. I think it's time I went a bit defensive, actually. Let's just shut up shop. I still don't know what this means in terms of Europe. I think there's a playoff, but I'm not sure how that works. I'm guessing it'll be us against Connors K. I don't know if that's a 2-leg thing. I don't know if it's a neutral ground. I don't know what it is. But Connors K have won 2-0, which is great news for us. So, we finished third. Overall in the league, we finished third. Unbelievable. What a win. What a win. Here we are then. So, we qualify for Championship I don't know what that means. We qualify for the European Places Playoff of the JD Premier. And we also get 12k for doing that. Oh my god, we've done it. We've qualified for the Euro Cup too. Oh my god, we're in Europe. No, I don't believe it. That's unreal. That is unreal. This season is absolutely flown by. I know I've not done that many episodes like that. I genuinely didn't think we had anything to play for. But somehow we've secured European football for next year. As in, like, a chance to qualify for it. Even the fees alone, the match fees we're going to get. And the prize money we get if we get through a couple of rounds of the playoffs. That's ridiculous. Unbelievable. What a team. What a team we've established here. The finances are great. We've got 11 grand. We go on a coaching course. Yes! I get another coaching course as well. It's all about the right time of asking. And my God, did we get it there. That's unreal. Get in. Forget what I said in the match about potentially leaving Pontypridd. Now that we're in European football, there is no need to leave. There is no need to leave. So that's it. End of season awards, and Alan Partin just wins Fans Player of the Year. 35% to Ashley Idsey's 31%. I have to say he was superb, was Ashley Idsey. Tom Screamer gets goal of the season. It's always worth watching a Tom Screamer, so we will definitely watch that. Sign of the season, Alan Partin. Couldn't agree more. And Young Player of the season, Alan Partin. Again, could not agree more. We'll watch the Tom Screamer goal of the season because, let's face it, why would you not want to watch it? And it was against Cardiff Met. And I think this is one of the first ones of the season, actually. I was hoping it might be the one in the final, but it's not. I mean, how far out is this? I love that, man. I love that, man. If he doesn't sign a contract with me now, I don't know what I need to do. How is he unhappy at the club? He's never been unhappy at the club. Look at that for a season review. Pontypridd will justifiably look back on the season with a smile on their collective faces. They defy pre-season expectations of relegation and mounted a campaign in which they secure continental qualification for next season. We have an average attendance of 133, 2% full. No improvement from last year. Need to be better. Right, club visions, and this is going to be interesting. Play defensively solid football. I'm not interested in that. Make the most of set pieces. We make the most of conceding from them. High tempo pressing football. We do that. Within the wage budget, it's fine. Mid-table required. Okay, we can do that next year. And the Euro Cup 2, be competitive. I can do that. I'm going to accept the current vision for that. That's absolutely no problem. Squad dynamics, everyone's really happy. We only have one team leader, and that's Lewis Ellis, but he'll probably be leaving in the summer, so it's going to be interesting to see who steps into that role. I'd imagine Phil Jones probably will step into that role. I mean, look at that for support. I've literally got it everywhere. I've got a bit of a problem with the dynamics. I'm surprised that we're doing that well, because there's a lot in terms of other players. Maybe it's just the lack of leadership qualities. I'm not really 100% sure. A quick overview of the squad, and you can tell here, maybe a bit of a problem is that we're a bit over-reliant on Ashley Idsey. He can't carry on that form forever. But 20 goals is mightily impressive for a guy got in a free who played very well last year in the division below. He has made the step up, but overall, like we said, he is depleting a little bit and needs to be a bit better. Tom Screamer came in with 8, Jack Stewart with 6, Jamie Smith with 4. He's definitely a player I want to get in again next year if possible. Phil Jones with 4, Michael Lennon and Ruben Colwell with 4 as well. Andy Owens with 3 off the bench. He'll stay here and have a coaching job, there's no doubt about that. George Hughes played well after I brought him in, and Alan Partin here. Here's the man. 1 goal, 17 assists. You look at anywhere else on the team, it's weird because our goal difference is very poor. Our goal difference was not good at all. Just, yeah, delighted. Absolutely delighted. What a season. What a season. We definitely need to strengthen the squad a little bit, get a bit more depth in. But the best thing about it now is I can arrange some friendlies, get the overall balance higher even more. I will get more players into the squad. We're still 1k under the wage budget, and that will improve because they haven't actually gone in and given me next year's wage budget yet. So I'm hoping that will get better. There's plenty of work here to be done. There's plenty of improvement that can be done. And I suppose next year the idea is how far can we get in the Europe Cup 2, which I wouldn't expect very far because let's face it, we're still a very small team. But can I grow the club more? And can I challenge TNS and some of these kind of like bigger reputation managers? And then maybe I'll get headhunted. At the moment, I see no reason to leave Pontypridd unless someone else came in with a bigger job. I don't really want to be going around looking around for other jobs and sort of upsetting the apple cart. Well, I'll have a look because obviously it's fun to look at what teams could possibly be available. But there's no one really that I'd off the top of my head say, yeah, I want to go to them. I mean, Arbroath maybe in Scotland in the Ladbrokes League 1. That's a slight step up, potentially. But then European football. I can't sacrifice European football. This is a real chance for me to make a name for myself and overachieve and prove that I've got European pedigree as a manager. This season has gone so far to making me feel like, actually, I'm relatively competent at the game and I'm not awful at it. let's hope that continues for next season, which I'm hoping you will join me for. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. Bit of a surprise one. I didn't realise how it would go. It was all a bit makeshift, not really sure what was going to happen, but somehow we've ended up qualifying for Europe and beating TNS and Phil Neville. Hope some of that. Next year, me and him, title challenge. Potentially. You never know. Thank you so much for watching the episode. I hope that you have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then please do like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you come back for next season. I'm absolutely buzzing for it. I hope that you are too. Until I see you in the next episode of TYC, stay cool. Oh, unbelievable. European football.